right, boys, another video on our update. So the bench is, except for a couple coats of poly stain, which I've got over there, which I've yet to put on, except for that and some other minor things, the workbench is done. Jake, you get a free ride on it. You will get the inaugural ride around the garage on the workbench. The second project, which I talked about a little bit, I'm working on the carcasses here. And so it's going to be in this location here, about 60 inches. It's going to be mostly half shelving with some little cubbies to store caulk and a bunch of other stuff that I, at this point, just have in these cardboard boxes for 2 years from our move down from Leadville. But that's going to be one of the carcasses, and then I'll put the second one over here. It'll be a similar construction, and that'll allow me to get rid of this here, which was actually left by the last person who owned our house in Colorado Springs, and I've used it for 18 years, so it's got good use out of it. But that will then come out. I'll build a platform for this in between the two carcasses, and inside there I'm going to build not as robust but a similar type dust management system, which will hook into this dust port here. I think I'm going to go with the Bosch with the articulated arm, just because the DeWalt that slides takes up a massive amount of space. And this right here might be gifted to either one of you boys who would want it. I got that in our house in Burke in 1997. So this here is gonna eventually be a mobile stand. It's been a temporary stand for 5 years with sawhorses and 2x4s, which took, I think, 15 minutes to put together. This was for the project for the raised bed and storage, Nick, for your bank room that you were living in when you're working at the mine. So that's where that goes, and that'll allow me to move that around. I would just point out that this saw here, I got in 1984 at the Sears in Killeen, Texas, when your mom and I were assigned to Fort Hood, our first assignment. And the jigsaw, which I'm going to use to cut this kick out right here, also 1984 vintage. The museum's calling for it right now. But I put a new blade in this here, and I put this really slick AccuCut little sled thing, and it makes a pretty good track saw, and it's not out $600. So I'm still using it, 37 years later, and it still works great. Oh, by the way, I'm not sponsored by Craftsman either. It just works really well. I think that's the update for now, and I'll come back after the carcasses are partially built. See ya.
Hey Jake, I'm building the carcass for the cabinet. This will be on the right side for the ultimate miter saw stand or something like that. In any case, coming along, I'm trying this approach you can see here of using cutting out a notch and then putting that in flush. We'll see how that works. Seems like the pocket hole approach might be a little bit easier, but we'll see in the
end. Hey Jake, just give you an update. The carcass is coming along. I'm putting in the toe kick places here. This is glued, brad nailed, and screwed. This is just screwed in case I wanted to change. In case I want to change this kick plate right here, I could. This I gotta obviously trim, but will be the bottom shelf. And then inside here will be half shelves that'll be adjustable. And then in this side will be, I've got full length 22-inch poles for trays here, like 4 trays, bottom tray, and then 2 other trays up. And that will be the first carcass. I'll put doors on it. I've got European hinges for that, and I've got some poles, and then I'll put on top of it this plywood here, rip it, and then I'm going to edge it with either poplar or maple, and then put that on top, and that'll complete this first of several cabinets, which will be on either side of the miter saw station. Obviously the miter saw station will be sunk down and have its own platform. That'll go in that mess that's right there. So that's my update.